Myers Life.
Myers Life.
Yes.
Yes.
And we are back with day 5.
Yeah.
And let's do some shadow work today.
Yes.
Yes. And so can you explain to them what I mean by shadow?
The shadows. So we're of light, right?
We are.
So we have light energy in us and we have dark energy in us. And the light creates shadows. So there's aspects of ourselves that lean towards negative energy and negative thinking. So the more you're aware of those aspects of yourself, the more you shed light on it. And the more light you shine on it, the more the light force will direct your show versus the dark force.
Right, right. Because you've heard that expression, feeling down the dumps. You know, when you feel sad, you feel like, man, just like blah, like I just don't feel like doing anything. But when you feel happy, sun shining, you want to be outside. You know, you see people moving around. Like, all of those things is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
The light and the darkness. And yes, we all have both that dwells inside of us. But which one are you feeding?
Right. And see, this is what fuels anger. Because eventually, over time, if you're kind of like stuck in the shadows, you're going to get tired of being there. Everybody hits a wall, so to speak, of what they're going to deal with and put up with, right? So once you kind of hit that wall, then that's where you get angry. That's where you behave aggressively because it's like, no. I've been putting my needs off to the side for too long now. Now it's going to be about what I need.
And you get angry and frustrated, and of course, but think about it. Also, you get stuck in that too. So if you get upset about that, then you get used to being in that state, and then that brings on depression. And if you don't start going out of the house, you don't move forward with things.
Because you're wallowing in the shadows, not wanting to open the blinds, kind of isolating, staying in your room. These things are signs that, shadow work.
And you find yourself being angry more and more and more and more because you have to protect that darkness too.
Right.
You want to. They try to stay in that fear. You want to protect that fear with anger and frustration. Even if they do see a little light. So they may see a little light, and then they get angry and frustrated at the light because they know that it's pulling me out of this state that I'm normally in. And really, that's where the ego lies. In that dark negative place, so it kind of holds and to keep that control.
Yes. So I have questions to help you do a little shadow work of your own.
Yeah.
And as you do this work, you will get a better hold of your anger because that's what this challenge is about: evolving through anger.
Because let's just say, you don't want to feel frustrated. You don't want to feel angry. It's time that you say, I'm breaking out of this negative state that I've been in, maybe for months, maybe for years. I'm breaking out of it. I'm going to take power over my anger and frustration.
Very good. All right, so here is the first question or thing to ask yourself. Now, it's a fill in the blank, so just follow me here. Even though I complain, I secretly like feeling blank, something negative, because it makes me feel something positive. So complaining, what does that do for you? Do you secretly like feeling that negative emotion?
You notice a lot of people complain over and over and over and over while they're doing the task that they're complaining about. So, but if you take that task away from them, then they get upset because they're not unable to do that. Well, I normally do this, because it just breaks their sense of normalcy, so it gives them power in fussing, yelling about that task that they're doing,
Yeah. So even though I complain, I secretly like feeling upset because it makes me feel engaged in life, purposeful.
Like you may hate washing dishes and you wash dishes and continue to wash dishes. So when you think about that, it's like, and then you start complaining about it. As soon as they get a dishwasher, well, I used to wash dishes. You get used to complaining about it.
Right.
It's kind of like a bid for affection.
Right. So just think about that. Number 2, when I set goals that I convince myself I want to achieve, beneath it all, I feel something negative. So what do you feel?
Is your first reaction, or first thought, man, I don't know if this is going to work?
Mm-hmm.
And that can automatically kind of put you down in the dumps because you have a negative attitude about things that you really want to do or want to try.
Right. Do you feel unsuccessful secretly? Do you feel like a failure? All those things are going to keep you in a place of not taking action. And if you're wondering why you're having a hard time reaching your goals, it's because maybe there's that underlying belief that, there's no way I can achieve any goals.
And saying if you hold that, then you feel like you're stuck, then you feel like you can't move forward in life. Oh, woe is me kind of thing. And then you just spiral down into this frustrated state of start pushing people away. You start really isolating yourself. And it can really, really get dark, for you. And that's why we're talking about this shadow work. So you can bring that light to it.
Right. All right. I secretly enjoy allowing certain people to get under my skin because of what? Because of what negative emotion or what emotion? Why do you allow people to pick at you and to frustrate you?
Some of it is as far as people feel a sense of need from that, because one, if they're picking at me, that means that they're thinking about me, or that means that I matter somewhat.
Right.
So just know that, but over time that builds resentment, and you will get to a point where you want to stand up for yourself. And of course, it's only right that you do. I mean, everybody deserves a voice.
Right. And see, this is how we evolve through anger, by understanding why you've allowed yourself to be in certain situations.
Right.
When I am taken advantage of, I feel used. Yet the good thing about being used is what?
What's the number one thing about people that say they feel like they're being used? The number one thing normally is they offer those things up a lot of times. They'll offer that time up in the beginning, and then people will take advantage of that time. So you have to set those good, healthy boundaries, so that way you do not feel used. It's all in how we look at things.
But a lot of times we'll feel, well, it's better to be used than ignored.
Right. Well, at least they call me. At least they call me for stuff. So then that way I know I'm in the loop of stuff. Even though I don't enjoy what they ask me to do, or those kind of things. So kind of makes you feel bad about yourself. As well. So it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing at the same time.
Okay, here's a good one. If I'm honest, I have the same negative traits as my mother, for example.
Now, we as model behavior, so as children, we do pick up things from our parents and things like that. Right? It's a normal thing, but also we use those things as tools to help us grow as well.
If your mom is real negative, or really impatient, or easily angered, maybe you picked up some of that from them. Father too. So ask that same question as it stands for whatever parental figures were in your life. Grandparents, whomever.
And then start working on it.
Yeah. But one negative thing I can't stop saying to myself is blank. And honestly, I'm hanging on to this negativity because of blank. So what's that dialogue in your mind, in your head, that's telling you negative things like, oh no, you're not smart, or you're a failure, or you're unlovable, or you have no value.
And it boils down to like self-hate, like low self-esteem kind of thing, to where you attack yourself. But it's also the things that you attack yourself with are the things that you've heard, or you thought you've heard about you. So you continue to bring those things back up.
Right. And how does that value serve you? Think about that. Like, if you're holding on to that, why? What does it do for you?
If that's keeping you stuck, and it is. So when you do release that, then you'll realize that none of those things that you've been telling yourself over and over and over and over and over for years that you've taken a belief in.
Right. So this is the last one. Positive people make me feel so negative. In what way? What does this say about me? It says what?
A lot of times people that we get angry are exhibiting things that we don't like about ourselves. You know, so if they're being super, super happy, that means that was reminding you that you're not happy.
Right.
You know, so and you want to be happy, but that dark place is keeping you there because misery loves company.
Yeah.
You heard that, right?
And comparisons are the biggest thief of joy. You know, the more you're comparing yourself to others, of course you wouldn't feel good.
Right.
Because there's billions of people in the world. And it's exhausting. And we're all different. And we all have attributes that the other doesn't have.
Right.
So how overwhelming is that? Versus, you know, knowing who you are and knowing your strengths and living in that. And we hold these negative energies, these shadow sides, for the purpose of feeling safe. Often we feel like I have to be here in this place of negativity so that I won't get hurt, so that I can have a sense of comfort in knowing that there's no disappointment here because it's already rock bottom.
Right. Right. And that shadow side comforts that and says, yes, yes. You know, stay here. It's safer here.
Right.
You know? And if you stay here, everything will be okay. You know, you don't want to try. You don't want to extend yourself and make yourself vulnerable because it's bad out there.
Right.
You know, which is a lie. You know,
stay
it's a
over
lie.
Here.
You know, people say that was a lie. It's a lie. You know, but if you believe in it, then it will take hold of your life.
You know, continue working at that job that you hate because it's safe there.
Right.
Continue hanging around those people that just are low energy and unmotivated, and it's safe there. You see what I'm getting at here?
Right. Keep doing the same things that you've been doing that make you feel bad.
Right.
You know, because it's you know, also it's so familiar to you too. It's safe and it's familiar and you feel comfortable, but you also realize that you're uncomfortable at the same time.
Right.
You know, ultimately, you do not want to be in that place, but you feel stuck in that place.
Right. And your ego will tell you, stay there.
Stay here. I got
you. But your spirit is saying no.
So much more to see, so much more abundance, so much more freedom.
Things. I want to be treated fairly. I want to be loved. I want to have adventures. I want to experience new things. I want to learn new things.
Yes, I want to have a voice. I want to be light. I want to be loved.
And I want to lead.
Expansive.
Yeah.
All of these things, that's what your spirit wants, to have more experiences.
Right.
Things that we came here for. You know?
So invest in your happiness.
Yes.
Invest.
It's time.
It's time. And how you invest is by focusing on it.
Yes.
Focus on your happiness and you'll have more happiness.
So we love you.
Yeah.
We want all of you to evolve through your anger.
That's right.
You know, and get to that place to where you get these things that you want. Be able to control your emotions and live the best, most wonderful life you can possibly live.
Yes, it's time.
It's time.
Evolve through your anger.
Yes.
Yeah, Myers Life.
Myers Life.
You know I want the love. You know you need the love. You know we want the love. You know I want the love. You know we need the love. You know I got the love. Man, can you feel the love? Can you feel the love? You know I give you love. You know we giving love. You know we need your love. Myers Life. Myers Life. Yeah, check out the new merch. Get your family dripped up and draped out in the new merch. Ah, yeah. That drip is here. That drip is here. That drip is here. That drip is here. The source, the drip is here. The son of source shorts, man, that drip is here. We got the leggings for the lady drip. It's here. We got the leggings for the lady drip. It's here. The son of source shirts. The drip is here. The son of source shirts. The drip is here. Source's brain shirts, man, that shirt is so tight. Man, that shirt is so tight. Don't mess up my vibe. Don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live, man. Don't mess up my vibe. You can see the vibrations on the front. You can raise your vibrations on the front. You ain't gotta worry about it. You can get some socks. You can get some socks. You can get some socks. The drip is so live. The drip is so live. Don't mess up my vibe. Don't mess up my vibe. Mine's life. Mine's life. The drip is so vibe. The drip is so live. The drip is so live. Don't mess up my vibe, man. That shirt is so live. The son of source shirt. The son of source shirt. Man, that shirt's so live. Man, that shirt's so live. Don't mess up my vibe. Don't mess up my vibe. The merch is here. The merch is here. Mine's life, man. That merch is here. Man, get your shirt. Get your shirt. Get your shirt. Get your shirt. Man, don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live. Don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live. Get some socks. Get some socks. You can get a dog shirt. You can get your dog shirt. You can get your dog shirt. That messed up my vibe, man. That shirt is so live. Don't mess up my vibe. That shirt is so live. Son of source, son of source, son of source, son of southern source, son of southern source. The source healing center shirt. Mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. Let your family get draped up in the drape. Let your family get dripped in the drape. Hey, that shirt is so live. Don't mess up my vibes, mine's life. The merch is here. The merch is here. The merch is here. Hey.